Welcome, everyone. Today, we will discuss the concept of production and the production function. The term production means the transformation of physical input into physical outputs. The term input is also known as factor of production. It includes all the terms, all the items which are required for the firm to produce a particular product. There are four general factors in production like labor, land, capital, and organization. Along with the four factors, there are some more factors which are considered for the production. For example, such inputs also include other items like raw materials of all kinds, power, fuel, water, and technology. Now we can see this is the block diagram of a production. Here the inputs entry into the market, then inputs. This inputs consists of fixed factor inputs and variable factor inputs. Then it undergoes a transformation process. After that, the physical output is produced, and which directly exists from the firm. Now, what is a production function? A production function shows a relationship between physical quantity of inputs used for production and the physical quantity of output obtained by the firm. It also specifies a flow of output resulting from a flow of inputs during a specified period of time. The production function can also be represented as Q is equal to function of land L, N, and K, where L, N, and K are land, labor, and capital. Now, I have mentioned two factor inputs, no, fixed factor inputs and variable. There are two types of factor inputs. They are fixed inputs, and the fixed inputs are those factors the quantity of which means remains constant irrespective of the level of output produced by the firm. For example, land, building, and machineries. These parameters, no, they will not change irrespective of the quantity of output or the level of output produced. The second one is variable input. It are those factors, the quantity of which varies with the variations in the level of output produced by the firm. For example, raw material, power, and fuel. Now, there are two types of production function. One is short-term production function, and other one is a long-term production function. In short-term production function, the producer will keep all the fixed factor inputs constant. Only he will change only a few variable factor inputs. But in long-term production function, the producer will change all the factor inputs, like the fixed factor inputs as well as the variable factor inputs. Okay. Now, now we will understand what is the behavior of uh, changing one factor inputs. Okay. Now the concept I will show you. See, this is the tabular form of a chart with the production function with one variable, and this behavior of this production function with one variable can be explained, no, with the help of law of variable proportions. The law of variable proportion means we are changing some quantities, no, some of variable factor proportionately, where the fixed factor of inputs, no, there we may keep it constant. And a law of variable proportions is a fundamental law of production, and which states that as the quantity of only one factor input is increased to a given quantity of fixed factors beyond a particular point, the marginal average and the total output eventually drops. Okay, now we can see from the production function this table, units of variable inputs are we have increased, no, from 0 to 10, and the total output is also is shown in the figure, with respect to the increase in labor and the average production, and the marginal production in units also displayed. Okay, from this figure we can see there are three stages of the stages of production function. The first stage is known as the law of increasing returns. The second stage is known as law of diminishing rate, and the third stage is known as law of um, decreasing uh, state. Okay, but what happens? Okay, now here we can see when I increase the labor sequentially from 1 to 3, here I am getting the maximum, the marginal production is maximum, and from there, even if I increase the number of labors, the marginal production, it tends to decrease, and one point it is become 0, and then it started to go in the negative direction. Okay, now now we can see the in the see from here also, this is the graphical representation of what I have mentioned in the tabular column. Here we can see there are three stages of production. First is the law of increasing return, and the second stage is law of diminishing return, and third stage is law of negative returns. Okay, in this stage, the the variable factors, no, they are varying at a larger rate as compared to the fixed factor inputs. Here the fixed factor inputs remains the same, and the proportion of fixed factor is greater than the quantity of variable factors. The producer increases the quantity of variable factor. Intensive and effective utilization of fixed factors takes place, and more number of units are produced. Okay, now here in this stage, the production rate increases. It is a steady rate. Now the stage 2, here now we can see the marginal production. Here it is goes on increasing at the point N. The marginal production cuts the average production. Okay, and corresponding to the line, the point P, that is the maximum output is produced by the firm. Then after that, in the law of diminishing return, the quantity of variable increased to a given quantity of fixed factors, output increases less proportionately. But here we can see there is a marginal increase in the production output as compared to the output produced in the stage 1. And this stage 2 comes to an end at the point E, where the marginal production, it touches the 0 point. It touches 0, and this is the maximum output that can be produced. Then after that, the marginal production goes to the negative state. Okay, now in the stages 2 states, no, it closes at point E, and we can see here this stage 2 where the maximum production takes place. Okay, now from stage 3, the quantity of variable input is increased to a given quantity of factors, the output becomes negative. See why it is happening like that? The overuse of excessive quantity of variable factors to a constant quantity of fixed factors, hence the output decreases. Okay, in this stage, the fixed factors are more and the variable factors are less. But here in this case, the variable factors are increasing more with respect to the fixed factors, but after this point, E point, it is variable factors are more. See, now that is why the this point at point from point E, the total production is decreasing, diminishing. So the producers know maximum, he will try to produce the products during this region stage 2. So in this law of diminishing return part. Now, now we can see the production function with two variables. Okay, now there are two terms, two variables. So we have two concept. One is isoquant and the other one is isocost. Iso means same and quant means quantity. ISO, this is here we can see the tabular column, and we are changing the two factor inputs, the variable factors. And for different combinations of the variable factors, the level of output is produced is remains the same. See, you can see the 100. See, if you plot a graph of this tabular column, you will get a isoquant line. Here we can see point A, point B, point C. Here all the same level of output with variable combinations of input factors. Okay, if the isocon line move upwards, then we need more number of factor inputs. Okay, if it is comes down, we need less number of factor inputs. Here we can say the isoquant line will never cross intersect each other. Okay, isoquant means the uh, proportion of the factor inputs to produce the same level of output. Okay, now we can see the isocost line, which indicates the different combinations of the two inputs which the firm can purchase at a given price. Okay, suppose a producer is given a some amount, some 1,000 rupees, and he has to produce some output, and for that he has to purchase some inputs also, purchase some factory inputs also, like labor and machinery. Okay, then at what prices? Okay, he has to keep within the budget, and at 1,000 rupees, we can say at 3,000 rupees, what will be the combination? How much he can that take, acquire these two factors, labor and machinery. But here he has only 3,000 rupees. Okay, then for that 3,000 rupees, he has to get the factor inputs. Okay, that the labor and the machinery. Each isocost line will show the various combination of two factors which purchase with a given amount of money. The isocost line will shift to the right if the producers increases the budget, from 3,000 to 4,000. But if shifts down to 2,000, if he decreases the budget to 3,000 to uh, 2,000. This is all about the ISO cost. Thank you so much.